Happy Wednesday, everyone. Today is August 6, 2025. I call this meeting to order. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 1.0. Item 1.04, oh, sorry, forgot that part. Item 1.04, approval of tonight's agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Item 2.01, approval modification of minutes from the July 16th, 2025 Governing Board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to move the approval of the minutes from the July 16th Governing Board meeting.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 3.01, approval of consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to thank CW7, Valley of the Sun United Way, University Presbyterian Church, the Town of Guadalupe, Gen Digital, National United Church Ushers of America, Spark PE, Molina Healthcare, State Farm, Early Warning Zell, Amazon, and the Musical Instrument Museum for donating more than $50,000 worth of items or experiences to best support our students and staff. Thank you. Item 4.01, Celebrate Excellence. I'll turn it over to Dr. Driscoll.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. Tonight I have a few items to celebrate. Tempe Elementary Schools has officially completed the first 2 weeks of the new school year. In just this short time, our students and staff have already shown what makes our district so special. Caring communities, a passion for learning, and the determination to overcome challenges. And if there's no parents from Connolly here today. Besides one on the dais. We are energized, focused, and ready to take on all the opportunities and successes this school year will bring. This week, we welcome the inaugural cohort to the Tempe Future Educators Institute. This group of 10 individuals with varying experiences and professional histories are beginning their journey toward becoming certified teachers. The Institute is a 2-year, district-led program designed for individuals who already hold a bachelor's degree and are seeking an alternative pathway to earn their Arizona Elementary Education K-8 certification. Participants gain hands-on experience in our classrooms while receiving mentorship, professional development, and coursework support. Before the cohort stepped into classrooms at Nevitt, Frank, Curry, Aguilar, Ward, and Fees, they were led through a variety of professional development courses led by Tempe Elementary staff. We are proud to invest in this innovative approach to growing our own teacher pipeline and look forward to the positive impact these future educators will have in our schools and in our community. I'm proud to share that Tempe Elementary School's Nutrition Service Team was recently recognized by the U.S. Department of Agriculture with 3 national awards for their outstanding efforts to support student health and wellness. The team received the Innovation and Preparation of School Meals Awards for incorporating new menu items that are prepared from scratch using local products or food in accordance with the USDA recipe standardization process and incorporated student engagement. They also received the Innovation in Nutrition Education Award for creative efforts that connected classroom learning with the cafeteria, home, and community. And lastly, they received the Lunch Trailblazer Award for improving the nutritional quality of school lunches while incorporating nutrition education and student involvement. Congratulations to our exceptional nutrition service team for this well-deserved recognition of their commitment, creativity, and care for our students. And that concludes my Celebrate Excellence for this evening.
Awesome, thank you. All right, 5.01, open call to the public. We have 2 blue cards this evening. We have a quick video to watch before we proceed.
Persons wishing to address the board must fill out the Request to Address the Board card and submit it to the board's executive coordinator prior to the start of the board meeting. Per Governing Board Policy BEDH, Public Participation at Board Meetings, the Governing Board President shall set a time limit on the length of the comment period. Also per Governing Board Policy BEDH, for items on the agenda, individuals will be called upon when the item is introduced. For topics not on the agenda, citizens will be called upon during this portion of the meeting under Open Call to the Public. In compliance with the open meeting law, the Governing Board will neither discuss nor take action on items raised during this portion of the agenda. When necessary, issues will be taken under advisement and placed on a subsequent agenda. During the open call to the public, issues addressed must be within the jurisdiction of the board.
The time limit for the governing board meeting will be 2 minutes each, and we will begin first with Iona Tom. Iona, when you get up there, just make sure that that green light is on so we can hear you.
Sorry, I'm just setting a timer so I know. Okay. Yat A, She'e Iona Tom Yin She. Hello, everybody. My name is Iona Tom, and I am coming from the Native American program from the TD3 district, from the district. I am here to request that we add the Native American program to the agenda onto these meetings, because we urge the board to uphold the Indian Education Act, which promotes the development of culturally relevant programs, including Native language instruction, cultural awareness, and accurate Native American history integrated into our curriculum. I understand that this is a big ask, but growing up in the Tempe Elementary School District, I am an alumni, and I didn't see myself in the classroom or the curriculum or in spaces that I know that I belong, and I just think it would be very beneficial because it is proven statistically that if Native students have see themselves or they can kind of be represented in the classroom, it leads to better academic involvement, better test scores, it's just better overall for Native American students. And it's sad because right now we are one of the lowest statistically to have less graduation rates, less our math and reading scores are the lowest out of every ethnicity. So I just believe that if we have more support to Native American students in the district, we will succeed and be better overall in diversity. Thank you.
Winona Miller?
Good evening, board members. Forgive me if I seem nervous. This is my first time addressing the board. And my name, I would like to introduce myself in my language. So, Ya'at'e Onalt'o, She'e Winona Miller Yinshe. Good evening, everyone. My name is Winona, and I represent the Diné culture. That's who I am as a woman. I am Diné. And I am here on behalf of the Tempe Elementary School District Native American Program. I'd like to respectfully request that the Native program be formally added to the school board agenda for future discussion. By creating a learning environment that resonates with Native students' cultural backgrounds, improving engagement and motivation can help narrow these gaps. Native American students consistently face some of the lowest academic achievement and graduation rates, not just in our district, but statewide, as Iona mentioned. These disparities highlight a deep need for increased support. intentional equity efforts, and culturally responsive programming. I like to reference the Tempe Elementary School District Community-Inspired Strategic Design Framework on the goals plus specific results. Number 5, Tempe Elementary will engage, empower, and hold individuals accountable for fostering a positive environment where every person is responsible for advancing diverse, inclusive practices and a sense of belonging. As a district committed to equity and inclusion, we believe it is time to take a closer look at how we are serving Native students. We ask for the board's support in reviewing current data on Native American student performance and helping us identify strategies to address these academic gaps. By adding the Native American program to the agenda, we will strengthen student identity and well-being in the classroom with culturally relevant teachings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 6.01, discussion, consideration, and possible approval of fees for gifted testing of non-Tempe elementary students. We will be voting on this, so Dr. Driscoll, I want to confirm, I'm going to ask for a motion, a second, open it up for discussion. Is that correct? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve fees for gifted testing of non-Tempe elementary students.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Anybody for discussion? Mr. Thierry.
Thank you, Madam President. I see here that we recommend establishing fees of $130 per exam. Is that just what it costs?
It's kind of the market rate, to be honest. So we looked at some of the surrounding districts. So Chandler, for example, does $130. So we thought it would be about that. It depends on how many we have at one time. So if you have one student doing the test, we would lose money on that. So if we had multiples, then it could cover some of that as well. So it depends. The costs themselves, most of the cost is the staffing to administer the tests.
Okay. And then can somebody just talk about what that looks like if a family's paying for a test? Are they showing up on a Saturday? How's that work?
We would offer a variety of ways. Most likely we would have it housed at the Gifted Academy location, and it would be on Saturday. We would offer times in the summer, depending on the need of our community or the surrounding areas. But we would have we have a cohort of people that are interested in participating in that testing and grading those assessments as well.
Great. Thank you.
Madam President, how long would that testing period go? 2 hours, 5 hours?
They would sign up for a window of time. It's not more than an hour-long test. So, and they would have a proctor, but we would have a variety of times that people could sign up.
Thank you.
Mrs. Windsor?
Thank you, Madam President. I know this isn't directly about this specific topic, but are there other areas that we could explore on charging non-Tempe elementary school students for testing? Just putting that out there. Thank you.
Mr. Miller?
Thank you, Madam President. One of the, ideas about expanding our gifted program is trying to expand our reach to encourage students to come to Tempe L. Is there any concern that this cost would, do the opposite, deter people from coming to Tempe L?
No, because in our current structure, we give blanket testing to grade levels ourselves. This is people coming in and basically we are charging folks. So they come in and test with us and then go to any other district they want to go to. So just because they test with it doesn't necessarily mean that they will come to us. And so what happens is, oh, you do it for free, I'm gonna come test with you, and then I'm gonna take my score that I get, and I can take that to any district around and get in qualify for them. So it really is one of those things, is just saying, hey, there is monetary for our people to do these tests. They're monetary that it costs us. There's not a free testing. And so we're not gonna make money on this. It's not gonna be a money generator. It's just literally making sure that we're not just giving these services for free for non-Tempe students who we're charged with providing. Now, if you're a Tempe student, we give blanket testing for you for free. And so you don't get charged for this. These are really for non-Tempe elementary students that don't live in our boundaries to come in and test. And we hope they have a great experience with us, that they actually want to stay and come in and be a part of our programming. But there are people who shop and will go and say, hey, I can get this for free and not have to go to Chandler or other surrounding districts and pay for this. But then I can take that score and use it at Chandler to get into those districts. So it really is for us, we've been giving it away for free, and it being fiscally responsible to say, hey, we probably should have some costs associated with non-Tempe students utilizing our resources and testing. And like we said, if one student came, we actually lose money on that. It has to be multiple students getting there for us to even break even. And so it's just a way that we can stop some of that's going on.
Thank you.
I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 6.02, discussion, consideration, and possible approval of a data sharing agreement between the Tempe Elementary School District Number 3 and the Arizona Board of Regents. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the data sharing agreement between Tempe Elementary District Number 3 and the Arizona Board of Regents.
Second? Second. Open for discussion? Mr. Tierney?
Thank you, Madam President. So I work for ASU. I do a lot of work with data collection with our local schools, and because of that, I think it's appropriate that I abstain from this vote. But I will say that as someone who uses this information all the time, it's just thousands and thousands of students that we see a lot. And I understand that some people might be concerned that we're seeing all of this student data. I promise you there's nothing nefarious going on with any of this stuff. We're seeing 17,000 names. We're not remembering any of that. From my work that I do, I don't need to know any student names at all. The only reason why we do collect student names is then when we give it back to the schools, then you have these teachers who are in the rooms and they're seeing like, well, we have 70 third graders at this school. Who are you talking about? You know, and they actually want to know, because then they can break that down and they can actually use that information. So that's the only reason why those MOUs have that student level data on them. It's just so that way when we give all that information back to the schools, that way the staff can actually use it for those students that they know. But as far as the conversations that are happening on the data teams at ASU, like we have no idea who any of these people are. We're not using any of that. So some of the things that we can do over there, first of all, there's just a lot of adults who really want to help out in education and want to have jobs, and school districts can't pay for that. You know, when I was teaching and I saw these outsiders come in and try to help with schools, I'm like, well, if you're so smart, why don't you get in here, boots on the ground, and do it yourself? And now I'm outside and I realize, like, oh, we couldn't afford that. We couldn't afford to do any of that. So thank you for helping. We do appreciate that. But for instance, like my team right now, we found out that a lot of the high schools, in fact, almost every high school in the network that we work with, they don't actually know how many of their students are even eligible to get into the state universities, because it's such a weird formula that the A-Board uses in order to get in. They just don't know. And so that's what my team's doing, is we're going in and we're trying to help students figure out who is eligible to get in and who is not. It's a different way to look at a high school. So right now you have a graduation rate, you have a college going rate, but you don't know who is actually eligible. And so that's why we needed those MOUs. So something totally, totally innocent, totally helpful, bless you. And that's why we do that stuff, and that's why we recommend those MOUs. So there's a good chance that this will come across my desk at some point. And so for that reason, I'm going to abstain from the vote, but I have 100% confidence in the team. So, thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I have 4 ayes, 1 abstain. 6.03, discussion, consideration, and possible approval of a memorandum of understanding between Tempe Elementary School District and Complete Vision Care. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the MOU between Tempe Elementary School District and Complete Vision Care.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Open for discussion. Mrs. Windsor?
Once again, we have a fabulous partnership that has been established. Ms. Grimaldi, and if Dr. Erskine doesn't mind, do you mind giving us more information about this?
Absolutely. Good evening, Madam President and Board. We've worked really hard in the last 2 years to develop some vision partnerships to help students be able to see the board when they are struggling to find those resources. Last year, we partnered with the Lions Club, and we had a grant, a $5,000 grant with Blue Cross Blue Shield. This allowed a partnership with VisionWorks and Tempe Marketplace to get kids transported to get some glasses, and this would be students that truly needed the resources. We were able to help 130 students last year get glasses and eye exams for free, so that was a win, but both of those are regional, meaning they're only held at certain places, and 2, they are seasonal. We offered 2 eye clinics, so to speak, and that's how we got the 130. This current partner that I would like to propose, Complete Vision Care, actually goes to each school site and tests students with parent permission. They go through access. They can also use insurance, and they have a foundation that they assure me will help students that have neither of those resources. So in our tradition, we don't want to go full board. We'd like to try 3 schools and see if it's a good fit for our district and for the partner. The 3 schools proposed to start with are Curry, Scales, and Thew. All 3 of those schools, through data of our other 2 partners, are the schools that had the most referrals to get help for vision services and eyeglasses. So I'd like to try those 3 schools and then be able to look at the data and look how it went for our schools. But this partner being able to go directly to the school, I think will reach more kids.
Thank you very much, Ms. Grimaldi. I want to add that while we often primarily think about how this is an improvement for students' lives and their families, of course, to help them, I know that there are countless teachers and staff members who open up their own wallets to help pay for this. I've seen it many, many times, and we're also helping them in being able to direct their efforts where they need to. So thank you for this, and thank you for being conscientious about where we should start and hopefully grow. Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, I have a motion, I have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. 6.04, discussion, consideration, and possible approval to select governing board members to serve as delegate and alternate delegate at the Arizona School Board Association Delegate Assembly on Saturday, September 6th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve whomever we put forward. Is that how we would do
Yes.
this? Okay. To serve as a delegate and alternate delegate at the Arizona School Board Association Delegate Assembly.
Do I have a second? And then we'll discuss it. Thank you. Open for discussion. No, I'm a guppy. I usually love it, but I will not be able to attend. My little man has a big taekwondo tournament. So is Mrs. Windsor motioning to me that she's
No, I wanted to
elated about
say
the
something.
Oh, go ahead.
I wanted
Okay,
that
Mrs.
I've
Windsor?
already been solicited to serve in another capacity at the same
Okay.
delegate assembly, so I will not be able to.
Oh,
fulfill
boy,
this.
boys. Okay, that leaves you, Mr. Lemon. Did you push a button? Did you mean to push a button?
Well, I wanted to explain, I already have a conflict.
Oh, boy. Okay. Mr. Cherry,
I'll do it.
and we need a backup plan. Mr. Miller?
So I'll also
Alternate?
be elsewhere that
Ooh.
weekend, so
Okay,
Mr. Cherry can't get sick.
I'll do it.
okay. So we usually have an alternate that's in the building, but Mr. Cherry, I will be, how about you make me on the phone, if something happens, you're sick, you call me, and I'll figure it out. I'll send a little picture of me to stand by my son's mat if I need to.
And I will be.
And you'll
in
be
the
there.
building. Correct.
Okay, so together we'll figure that out, but Mr. Cherry, you win. It's a major prize. Okay, thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion passes, thank you. All right, 6.05, discussion and first review of proposed changes to Governing Board Policy EB, Environmental and Safety Program. This is only for discussion. So Dr. Driscoll, do you want to start?
Yeah, it's, thank you guys for displaying it on there. It's the blue is the new highlight, and so basically for this one, House Bill 2074 amended ARS 15154 regarding expansion of purchasing options for school safety programs. And so all the stuff in the blue is the stuff that they added in terms of that law and the expansion of it. One of the caveats I believe in this one as well is that school districts have to develop an emergency response plan, and they have to conduct a safety assessment every 5 years. So that was one of the caveats. We did a safety assessment through Armor One this year, but I was told that they have to be on the approved list. And so, though we did one, I don't know if Armor One is on that approved list. And so we would be on the hook if they're not to do one within a 5-year period.
Mrs. Windsor?
Just for informational purposes, the state has a policy to accept new vendors as well, correct? So
Yes.
maybe that's another possibility to avoid paying for another assessment.
If they're willing to do the process, but yes.
Mr. Miller?
Thank you, Madam President. And the state has provided funds for this safety assessment every 5 years?
I can't confirm nor deny that, no
Nope.
funds.
No, that's still coming out of us.
But I think the same thing they provided for us last year for this assessment is the same they'll give us this year, or in every 5 years, which is 0.
I believe they call that an unfunded mandate in certain circles. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Can you explain the difference between a peace officer and a police officer? Is that a Stephen question?
If he can tackle it, yes, it is a safety.
I would say in this instance, it makes a, sorry, my glasses on, a distinction between security officers and police officers, which we have security officers, civilian employees at the site, where a peace officer or a police officer would be somebody that's certified by Arizona Post, Peace Officer Standards and Training Board that certifies police officers. So I think if you're hearing the term police officer or peace officer, I think those are interchangeable in this state.
Thank you. I learned something new every day. Awesome. It was only for discussion. Seeing no further questions, I'll move on to 6.06, discussion and first review of proposed changes to governing board policy GCQF, discipline, suspension, and dismissal of professional staff members. This is open for discussion only, no vote.
Madam President, did I
Mr.
misread
Lemon?
this, that the board doesn't act in the final appeal in this process?
Now let's go to the paperwork, and then Dr. Driscoll, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, let me grab it really quick. So for this one, this again was a Senate Bill 1659, and it amended ARS 15-350 to include guidelines for school districts with the department head. So I think this is more of when, say we have an incident with an employee who violates policy that could be, their certifications can come into question. So there's certain infractions that certificated employees are involved in that could result in them losing that credential. In some cases, people have resigned in lieu of termination, so it never got to the board. And what this would do is still put the mandate on our district to actually call and said, even though this person resigned in lieu of termination by the board, they did participate in the action that could have jeopardized her credential. I think I'm saying that right? Okay, yes. So it's basically the state saying, we don't want people just to resign out of position and then get hired by another district when they had a consequence in a previous district that could have resulted in losing their credentials. So we still have an obligation to report it to the state board.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no further discussion, 6.07, discussion and first review of proposed changes to governing board policy JLC, student health services and requirements. This is discussion only. I open it for discussion. Seeing no discussion? 6.08, discussion and first review of proposed changes to governing board policy JLCD, medicines, administering medicines to students. Discussion only. I open up for discussion.
And Madam President, I think on this one, the only thing that really changed is they made it delivery systems instead of auto injectable. So that was the really thing. And then they provided a definition for what delivery systems, that new term means. So really, they just took out a word and said delivery systems instead of the auto injectable.
Mr. Lemon?
Thank you, Madam President. When I attended an event at McCamey where the students presented their projects for the year, I saw a couple students that said they would like us to take a look at our policy allowing students to administer their own medicine, whether it's in the health office or wherever. And as I understood it, I don't think we allow that right now. They may have to go to the health office under the supervision of the healthcare provider. Am I mistaken about this?
I would say yes, but I can check in on that. And one of the things I would say is when students have their own prescribed medicine, if they gave that to another student, that would be violation of, and so that's why we normally make them go through and have it supervised under a professional, but I will come back at the next meeting and confirm that that is indeed the case, but I'm almost 100% sure that.
I told those students I'd bring it up, and I did.
Seeing no further discussion. 6.09, discussion and first review of proposed changes to governing board policy JLF, reporting child abuse, child protection, discussion only. Open it for discussion.
I would just say on this one, because there's some language, I want to say on the,
Third page.
on my second page in the blue, where it talks about if a caseworker declines or is unable to provide one of these forms of identification. I think the governing board, if they would I could bring them a regulation for how we interpret that, because in our regulation, we would spell out what we would do if a caseworker says, hey, I'm not gonna show you my identification or provide us with one of these forms of identification, that the steps for our schools, I think it would be clearer and help our schools get out of this, where they would come to the district. Part of my recommendation, if they decline to show the schools this, they would come to the district office and we would verify that they're the person, because it puts the onus on the schools to verify that this person is by calling the child safety. If I read this correctly, we would have to call, and who knows that person? So I'd rather them have to come down to the district if they're not wanting to give us identifiable information to verify that they're who they say they are, before they would go see our school. So I think if we did created a regulation for you to go with that, it can help interpret what that means, what we would do as a district if a person declined to give us their identification.
Mrs. Windsor?
Thank you, Madam President. That's exactly what I was going to ask, is for a regulation for that specific paragraph. I do not think it's acceptable to put the onus on schools to verify the identity of a state agent who is unwilling to produce proper identification. Thank you, Dr. Driscoll, for the foresight.
Mr. Thierry?
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to verify, we do require all of our parents to show IDs, right? I mean, it seems like a no-brainer that the caseworker would also have to. All right, thank you.
7.01, board information. Mrs. Windsor?
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to the district office staff and Connolly staff for managing a challenging situation today in incredibly difficult heat. My own family was appreciative of your efforts and thought it was as organized as possible with a crisis situation. I think it's something that a lot of people don't realize is vital until they have to go through it, and you guys all got to stand out in the heat and make sure that everybody got to where they needed to go to be cool. So I appreciate your sacrifice for that and making sure our kids were safe. I did want to know how many kids were transferred to Bustos at the end.
I know, I could speak for on the tail end that after parents came, we had like 40 students and then it got down to like 27. 23.
We started with about 150.
Yeah.
And Connolly's enrollment's
950 as of today.
Excellent. I think the biggest showing was the line of buses. The kids were blown away with the amount of buses, shocked that we had that many, and quite honestly just really thrilled that everybody mobilized so quickly to get there, and I'm sure that was more buses than we normally have. So super impressed with your efforts, and I know probably not everybody went away happy from that situation because that's the nature of human experiences, but I truly appreciate all that you did to make it as smooth as possible.
Mr. Lemon.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm hoping that we have enough bond money to replace the air handling equipment at these schools that have reached their lifetime of the machinery. So, and thank you for everybody that took care of the kids and the parents that took care of it. And from that standpoint, it was very warm at my house too. So, but my air conditioner was working. I just wanted to make a comment. I noticed in the last couple of weeks, there were 3 individuals that made a big difference in Arizona over the last 2 or 3 decades with students in education and in health. I worked with Tom Jones from the Fort McDowell, and he was a leader in education and made sure that the kids went to school, and they didn't get their money until they went to school or they turned old enough. And so I was very impressed with Mr. Jones. Suzanne Feaster worked in healthcare and always supported healthcare and education from that standpoint. And when I was lobbying those issues, she was right there alongside with the education. And finally, Alfredo Gutierrez. We always used to say, we're gonna have to go shop at Alfredo's store. And that was because they couldn't get the legislation passed until Alfredo put something in that was necessary and required. And I was very proud to work with these individuals over the years. And I celebrate their accomplishments and my condolences to their families. Thank you, Madam President.
Mr. Thierry?
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, big shout out to the HVAC technicians that we have here who took care of the Connolly today. They certainly didn't want that to happen, just 'tis the season, you know. Sometimes that happens at our house and that's just how it goes, and those are huge systems that can't be fixed in an hour or two. So thank you all who were, I think, maybe they're still there. Are they still there working on it? Like, probably, right?
The part is fixed, but they're there monitoring it because their superintendent says, we need to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So they're there monitoring it right now.
Thank you. And I also wanted to just mention, as I've said before, I'm an education numbers guy, and when we look at some of the data for different demographics in this state, we have, we see our Asian students going to college at the highest clip, and then we see our white students, and then our Latino and Black students are about half what our white students are, and then our indigenous students are even half of that. And it's something that isn't really talked about very much, and in fact the US government doesn't even track it. So when I'm trying to compare Arizona numbers to US numbers, I can't even find it because the US doesn't even keep track of any of that. So I've been trying to go through and look at state numbers, and I came across Maine, and Maine showed that they had 7% indigenous population, and I was like, I'm suspicious. And it turns out they just have so many people who are of English descent, but they were here before the Revolutionary War, that they don't call themselves anything but American. And so when it comes time to check a box, they call themselves Native American, which is not what we were intending, right? When we had some things like this. So that just shows the how widespread this I don't really know what to call it, because I don't want to just call it it's exclusion. It's strategic. It's a group of people that are strategically undervalued and always have been. So I hear you, and we'll do what we can. Thank you.
Shalimar residents, I want to make sure that you heard that do not call me at 2 o'clock in the morning saying there's a whole bunch of people over at Connolly Curry and there must be a problem. Dr. Driscoll has required them to stay there and make sure that the building is getting to the accurate temperature for tomorrow's children. Kudos to all of you. I didn't get one phone call. Like, Brittany, I usually know before you call or send something. I'm like, I heard, or I've been around, or, it was less disruption because it was organized. You could tell you guys had a plan. We always have a plan, and you pulled the plan and used it. I felt awful for the families who were inconvenienced and those people who don't just get off work and come get their kids. So I was grateful when Brittany told me that we had a backup plan, we had a place for them to go, we had a safe place for them to eat, and for them to still continue to be in the process of learning, and this was a learning experience, right? So thank you all, and thank you to the neighborhood for just understanding, and thank you to the parents. We all know as parents, and especially working parents, it's really hard to change things up. And they went with the flow the best that they could. And I want to say kudos to the community. Good job. I'd also like to thank Michelle Grimaldi for all of the efforts in coming back to school. We had backpacks given out, we had supplies being given out, we had books being given out. And I also like to thank all the vendors who came to welcome our kids and let them know of the services that are available in the community and how much they promote and love our public schools. And kudos to our teachers. Welcome back. And I'm so proud to be a school board member. With Tempe Elementary, we're just a good place. And I'm so glad that everyone's safe and they're back and they're learning. And I'm just proud of you all. You do a really, really good job at what you do. And I can tell you do it more from the heart than you have to. So thank you for just putting it all your all into it. All of our new teachers are having a good time, and that means a lot, right? So it's hard to be a teacher right now. It's hard to work in this field right now. And if we just focus and we turn off the noise and we continue to do what we're good at, kudos to you. So with that said, announcements 8.01, upcoming events. There will be an agenda committee meeting on Wednesday, August 13th at 11 a.m. The next regularly scheduled governing board meeting is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025 at 7 p.m. The 2025 ASBA 49th Annual Law Conference will be September 3rd through the 5th, 2025 at the JW Marriott Camelback Inn Resort and Spa, 5402 East Lincoln Drive in Phoenix, Arizona. Has the board who's going to go, have they confirmed with you, Brittany, that they're going? Is everybody confirmed? Great. The 2025 ASBA Delegate Assembly will be September 6th for Mr. Thierry at the JW Marriott Camelback Inn Resort and Spa, 5402 East Lincoln Drive, Phoenix 85253. And 9.01, do I have a motion to adjourn tonight's event? It's time to adjourn it. I can't even speak. To adjourn tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Good night, everybody.